want to give big shout outs to the I'd like to give shout outs to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Since 1985, the Prevent Cancer Foundation, a nonprofit, has invested $134 million in support of cancer prevention research, education, advocacy, and outreach programs, and have played a vital role in developing a body of knowledge that has helped prevent and detect cancer. The foundation is the only U.S. nonprofit organization solely devoted to cancer prevention and early detection. The marathon itself is at gamesdonequick.com with hashtag AGDQ 2014 for sharing. We'd like to give shout outs to SDA, the premier community for video game speedruns. Their Twitch is at twitch.tv/team/SDA. This is nearing the end of the Contra block, and there are some Contra prizes out. Contra Another Day at the Job print, the Contra bundle, the Jinmin Yo print, and the Sheena from Contra Perler. I have a $40 donation from Anonymous. I'd just like to absolutely thank all of you for participating in this. It means a lot to me and other people who have had cancer become a major factor in their lives. I had lost my father to lung cancer when I was 9 on my mother's birthday, and had heard from my mom that when she visited him on that day, he had forgotten us, but not of his own volition. I don't want anyone to have to go through that ever again. So again, I thank you all.
Hey, Kay?
Yeah.
What difficulty are we playing on?
There are. I thought there was an only difficulty.
There's only one difficulty.
So did fire percent get met?
No. All right. So any percent then?
Any percent.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So shout outs to my dear friend Herb Latt. Although you could not make it today, you are in our hearts. All right. Stage 1 is completely random as far as like the enemy spawn, so I'll just kind of do my best to cope.
Ooh. So yeah, one thing about this Contra, compared to the other Contras, is that when you play in hard mode, it's a lot more intense and difficult than the other Contra games. The bullets are faster, there's just a lot more enemies on screen, like they put the Super in the Super Nintendo here.
So you can duck if you're at the very edge of the wall. So that's how he didn't die.
Yeah, the other thing in this game, when you duck, your hitbox is very, very small.
Yeah. The other thing is that the way scrolling works in this game is that you actually don't have to be constantly walking right. You just have to be in the right side of the screen. As long as you're on the right side of the screen will scroll.
So the main thing that lets you do a ton of damage is the fast weapon switching. So all the guns like Spread and Crush have like a cooldown period. And so the idea is that while the cooldown period's going on, you switch to the other weapon.
Most important part of any Contra game.
That was completely unnecessary, but I did it anyway.
Yeah. And he's using a bomb for safety there to get rid of some of those flames. And as you saw, like even though he had to stand there a bit, the screen was still scrolling right, so he didn't lose any time.
This boss is completely random. The optimal strat is to point blank, but
there's about a 10-ish% chance of getting away with that.
Exactly.
And that was just bad luck. That
Right.
breath attack is pretty rare, but if you get a bad bullet pattern with the breath, there's just really nothing you can do about it.
Had I killed him before he got me, I would have survived because you have invincibility as soon as the boss dies. But it happens. The good thing, though, is that I practice this game a lot, so I can roll with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
The thing you want to do is minimize lag in this. He drops a laser.
Nice.
You gotta spin.
Yeah, so the reason why he spins is that certain manholes, they will only open up if you're facing away from them, and since spinning makes you turn on 360 degrees, that pops open the manholes.
What? It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
We have $10 from Driscoll Lab. Comment is $10 to get TMR to yell "no mames, please."
Oh, no, mames.
The comment is $10 to get TMR to yell "no mames, please."
No mames.
A mommy.
Let me wait for the moment that it should be screamed. Because I cannot push a no man. That's my rule, man. There's no point of screaming no man. That's fake no man. It has to be full of rage.
Yeah, it has to be from the heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so these enemies, when they grab you, they don't kill you. It's just when they take you to the top of the screen, they kill you.
It's hard to get. You can do a quick cycle on this if you have 2 crushes, but I don't. So.
Yeah, so it's about as quick as you can do without 2 crushes. Fortunately, there's a crush in each stage. With the exception of the overhead stages, they aren't really guaranteed because all the drops in the overhead stages are random.
So this part's an auto-scroller.
Best part of the game.
All of the individual segments of his legs are animated. The screen is scrolling up, there's like a fog effect, and you can't shoot because the crush missiles explode and lag the game. So you pretty much just have to sit here. And I sometimes think about like, how much time do I spend, like how much time of my life have I spent playing video games? But I usually don't do it when I'm speedrunning, just because it's usually so captivating that I have to concentrate. But this part just gives me this existential crisis because I just have time to think, and that's just so dangerous when you're speedrunning.
So that's a tip for you, those getting into speedrunning. Don't think.
Don't think, feel. So this guy is random as to whether or not he drills. So this next part, if you do it right, you shouldn't have any problem dodging the bullets.
Can I give you an incentive to take a blue orb?
All right, so since this run's not been going so well, I guess let's go for some stuff. So this next part here, you can do without getting the barrier.
Nice.
So, and I guess while I'm at it, I will go for that. If you're at the very edge of the pole, you can skip a jump there. The skeleton fight is completely random. I guess for safety, you probably want to, if you go from the top, you're completely safe. You can actually go from the left side and kill them a little bit faster, but it's risky.
Yeah, because they can either jump over your way or start firing at you.
Had I been a little bit slower, he would have fired a shot and killed me. But it was actually really good luck for that fight.
Yeah.
Also, he's got a sprite for ducking on the slant. It's pretty great. Alright, this boss is a joke. Alright. So I'll be a little bit more aggressive in this stage. You can tell there's two patterns that the bikers have. If they're slanted forward, they shoot straight. If they're parallel to the ground, they'll throw bombs at you.
I never knew that. Let's know.
You learn something new every day.
I don't know it's wrong time.
Alright, so for this, you can actually be really aggressive here. He was part of the way off the screen. You can be even more aggressive. This TV is a little bit cropped on the sides, so I can't quite see the character as much as I want to, but you could show a little swagger and dodge the bullets, but yeah. This next part is completely random. I'm going to use a bomb for safety, but you can do it without a bomb. And he gave me a really good pattern, so he died fast.
Yeah, so in general, you want to minimize bomb usage just because it lags the game.
Yeah,
So if he was going for a record, like he would go out of his way to use as few bombs as possible, but for a marathon run, you just want to have that extra bit of safety.
Alright, so there's kind of a dance for optimizing this. You want to kind of want to mirror the movements of your enemies, be as close as you can for as long as you can. Like, that's how you optimize this. Contra 3 is really not about mashing so much, it's just about finesse. It's kind of a joke. He tried really hard. Alright, so for the missile fight, I think I'll go a little risky here.
Okay, this is one of the most involved bosses. As far as I know, there's actually no RNG to this fight.
There is.
Oh, there is? Oh, but it starts later in the fight. Oh, that's not
I
good.
couldn't hear the audio cue that I used.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's the TV. It's not turned up now.
But yeah, you want to take off the two top parts, and then... Sorry.
I'll go for this. It's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely. So there used to be a thing where you could die at the explosion, but there's a way to prevent that.
So if you play this game on emulator, there's a transparency effect that you can turn off, and so you can actually, it disables the flash, and so you can see the game like move him over to the missile. If you're ascending on your jump, you won't grab it. So I'm going to start at the top left here, because top left is better.
Dang, you're using the 2005 strats.
Oh, this is the new strat. This is the new strat.
This is the new strat.
So
So
I
old,
shoot,
too.
turn away. So that minimizes the lag.
Yeah, and this
That
game
was a
is
really good stage.
Yeah, that was a really good stage. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. So he's using the beginning of a boss invincibility, so you can just get in close and point blank.
I'm not perfectly centered.
Yeah,
so it's gonna take a
but
little
that
longer.
was still a really good fight. That was a solid stage overall.
Yeah,
And
that-
about the little ledge that he went over, the game, as long as you're just on the ground and you're not on the little cliff edge, then you can just kind of clip, not really clip, but like go around the walls.
Yeah, we call it the corner trick. So over here, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get through this part without using a bomb. But it gets pretty crazy, so I'll see how it goes.
There's no shame in bombing.
Get pretty close here. So since Crush is powerful, I can be a little bit closer to the edge of the screen, but I got to watch out for spawns.
Yeah.
Particularly this one here.
Yeah, 'cause that one can leap on you.
But yeah, it'll leap on me, and then I shoot that one. I knew he was coming, so I was ready for him.
Yeah, the aliens in this game are just Olympic athletes.
Oh.
The mommies!
Thank you.
That was from the heart.
That was good.
Part of the reason why I took that risk is because there's a laser like right here.
Yeah, and the laser's really effective against this boss. Even though the Crush is by far the most powerful weapon, both spread and laser are very good in this game.
Yeah, as hard as this game is, the weapons really give you that edge.
You don't need a bomb for the 1 cycle, but it makes it much more consistent.
Whether or not you can do 1 cycle depends on how much damage you do to him as he's retreating. So I did a little bit of damage to him as he was retreating, so I knew I could get a 1 cycle if I didn't screw up.
That was a good fight. All right, so what he's going for here are gray stones, and this boss is really weird because he starts off with a huge amount of health, and every time you hit one of the orbs, his health gets divided in half.
And so the best cycle for doing damage. It's the longest. It's 3 seconds longer than the red brain orb cycle. So I'm totally abusing the game's hitbox. The gray orbs, the only part of them that does damage is the very center. And so the only part of me that takes damage is my elbows. So if you look carefully, the center of the orb never touches my elbows. It's just the sides. So that's how I can do that without taking damage. The technique for mashing is weird. You hold down one finger and then mash with the other. It's really awkward.
Y shoot X is switch.
So I'm kind of like...
Yeah, and while Y auto fires, you have to mash X.
It'd actually be easier if you just mashed both buttons, but you have to hold one down.
Yeah.
Alright, so this next should be guaranteed, so I'm just gonna take my chances. So you dodge the snake. Oh. Well, I guess. Alright. Let's see what we get.
Blue orb.
Yeah!
Yeah! You got it, man. You got the orbs.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. I wanted the first 3 rounds.
You should have said so.
Yeah,
You should have said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that snake orb, no one can do that snake orb like K. That is so much harder than it looks.
Blue orb makes everyone want to cry except for K, and even he's afraid of it.
I'm not afraid. I'm just embarrassed when I die.
Okay, the mayor has a reputation to uphold.
That's right.
That's right. All right. So let's see if I get this stuff. He's reaching fast.
Yeah. So he got bad luck there because he was swinging his arms. And time is going to come up in about 10 or so seconds.
Yes.
Okay, and time.
15:28.
Yeah, I started the timer 8 seconds early.
Okay.
Not bad.
All right. That was pretty good.
We have a $100 donation from JKKM. Comment is, let's attack aggressively.
Let's attack aggressively.
He sure did.
It's time for revenge.
Okay, we're going to restart the stream shortly. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Awesome Games Done Quick, a charity marathon for Prevent Cancer Foundation, who's been great to us, and really the reason we're here. All donations go to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The upcoming game is a race, actually, Chippendale. The racers are two teams, Cypher and Blecky, versus Sinister One and Fiesel. After this is the Ninja block, where some new prizes come up. We'd also like to give Twitch major props for hosting us. They are giving us a large donation for maximum concurrent viewers. We have a $150 donation from Nim1. Comment is, "Hi, I have way too much games, about 350. Thank you for preventing me from buying even more. Put these 150 bucks to preventing cancer. Two birds with one stone, right?" It's the Swedish guy, Nim1.